Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is DANIAL AFIQ bin AZLAN, metric number 170566 from Group 3 of Section 400. For this MAT02 project, our group has been tasked to study about the time spent for physical activities by students of CFS IIUM in a week. In order to conduct this survey, we have made an online questionnaire consisting of 5 different questions of different variables that are spread through the WhatsApp groups of CFS IIUM. These 5 questions contains both qualitative and quantitative data. As for the sampling method used, we have used a simple random sampling method in which all the students of CFS IIUM has an equal chance of being selected for the studies. The selected population is all of the students of CFS IIUM, while for the selected sample is only 60 of the respondents that have taken our survey. Next, we will continue with the tabulation of the raw data.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is FARIS ROSEMANZAILANI and my metric number is 170655. So now I will explain about how we got the raw data. So first we conduct a survey on the WhatsApp to all the CFS students. Finally we got a total of 90 respondents. Before we start the tabling, we filter out the invalid respondents and got a total of 60 respondents as shown in the table. So using this formula to find the range of the data, and we made 6 different class limits, and finally we use tally method to find the frequency of the class limit. So now let's proceed to the calculation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is MOHAMAD and AZIZ, matrix number 171726. So I'll be explaining the calculations we can make from the frequency table. As we get the frequency table, we get the mean, median and mode and standard deviation. So we can get the mean by the formula of total frequency times by the midpoint of the class limit divided by total frequency, and we get the mean, which is 98.275 minutes. That shows the average time spent by students of CFS IUM on physical activities per week. And next, the median we can get from the frequency table as in the formula. Substitute the data into the formula and we get 70.5 minutes, which shows that 50% of students spends less than 70.5 minutes per week on physical activities itself. So next, we move on to the mode. As in the formula, we substitute the data and we get the mode of 105.5 minutes, which shows that most of the students spend 105.5 minutes on physical activities only. As for the standard deviation, we use this formula and get the standard deviation of 87.49 minutes. So next, we move on to the graphical interpretation of the data.
So, from the graphical interpretation of the data, we have come up with this histogram and frequency polygon, in which the x-axis represents the midpoint of the time spent for physical activities in minutes, and the y-axis represents the frequency of the students that have taken our survey. This frequency polygon also shows that most students tend to exercise between 0 to 60 minutes, and it slightly decreases between 61 to 120 minutes. Next, we'll go to the ogive. We get the ogive from the cumulative frequency in the y-axis, and the x-axis is the upper boundary taken from the histogram data. So, what we can get from the ogive is about percentiles and quartiles, and also the median, which is 70.5. So, from this ogive, we can see an increasing pattern. So next, we move on to the other variables.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is FAHMI, metric number 163595. As for the other variables, we have included the genders, types of activity and cost for the activities. Firstly, from the pie chart of gender, we can see that most of respondents are male, which is 60%, while the least are female, which is 40%. Secondly, for the types of activities done by respondents, we can see that the most of students prefer to work out, which is 28.3%, while the least would be rugby, which is only 3.3%. Lastly, from this bar chart of cost on physical activities, we can see that most students spend their money between 0 to 50 ringgit, while only 2 of them spend their money more than 100 ringgit. Thank you.
As for the suggestions on the future studies regarding this topic, based on our method of sampling, we suggest that surveys made in the future may be improved by obtaining a more accurate population, a more accurate sample from the population, and also a more accurate calculation, so that the interpretation of the data will be more accurate, leading to a smoother data. Lastly, for our Islamization regarding this topic, based on this hadith you are seeing, it is clear that Allah loves the strong Muslims more than the weak ones. We can interpret strong Muslims by people who take care of their physical and mental health by exercising. So, that is all from us for this study for our MAT02 project for this semester. With that, I end with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.